My name's Shan from 987 FM, a radio station in Singapore. This is footage from an interview in Singapore with Noel Gallagher on April the 5th, 2009. Do you think Oasis are a great band?
I said a long time ago, I think round about the time of Nebworth, that I thought we would be the last truly great British rock and roll band. And I think I'll be proved right. Because I think people have changed now, and with the advent of the internet and all that malarkey and downloading and digital this and all, you know, we came along before mobile phones. You know, here's an example. Have you ever seen bootlegs or footage of us on stage at Nebworth that wasn't official? You know why that is? Because there wasn't the technology then to record it on a phone. So now you don't have to be there, right? Somebody films it, downloads it, it's in a bootleg shop before you can say that. So I think we were the last, we came along before the internet. Well, if you can remember the time between Definitely Maybe and Morning Glory. Morning Glory was not even an anticipated album. Nobody gave a shit. If you had a band that put out Definitely Maybe now, right, the weight of expectation for them to follow that album up will crush them immediately. When Morning Glory came out, nobody was interested in it. It wasn't eagerly awaited. It wasn't hotly anticipated. It took 12 days to do. We didn't know what we were doing. There was no leaks from the record. It wasn't on the internet before it came out. There was no webcam. There was none of, you know, it was really natural, old school, the way it was supposed to be done. Whereas now, if like, you know, that's why you see lots of bands now who have one great album and they just really don't do it anymore because the weight of expectation is too fucking great for them. You know, we were lucky in a way that we came along before this kind of technology that, whereas millions of people could be watching you make a record via a little camera in the studio and websites and web chats and all that shit. You know, it's very organic, and it's like if you wanted to see us, you had to be there. If you wanted to hear us, you had to buy the record. You couldn't get it for free. So there was instantly a connection between the fans and the band. Like a contract almost. It's like we've invested this in you, and I don't think it'll ever happen again. Musically, we wouldn't like, you know, there'll be bands that come along that, you know, are equally as good. I mean, Kasabian are equally as good as we are, but for the level of, I don't think Kasabian will be going for 15 years. I don't think they'll still be playing stadiums in 15. I don't think they'll be playing stadiums in 15 years' time. That's not a slight on them. That's just the way that's the way that we are. You know, I don't see anybody coming along after us.
How are you involved in marketing Oasis?
I'm not like a character that sits around a table and constantly comes up with these ideas of how to sell you Oasis products. You know, my job is simple. I write the songs and record them and do the gigs. I have a paid field of experts that sit around tables like this in London and they say, you know what we should do with this, we should do that. And then somebody comes to me and says, do you think it'd be a good idea if we had blah, 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 blah? And the answer is always yes or no. I think about what I'm going to wear on stage. That's as deep as I want to get. You know.
What's your views on Tony Blair these days?
The same as I thought about him then. I think he's a brilliant politician. You know, unfortunately for him, his legacy will be entwined with George Bush's legacy. That's just an unfortunate mistake that he made. Actually, not so much a mistake, because there's an unwritten law in British politics that we have to follow American politics because of the Second World War. It's as simple as that. If it would have been any other leader in Britain at that time, they would have had to have done the same thing. Unfortunately, I thought he changed a lot of things in England, really subtle things for the better. But they will all be forgotten in the midst of time, and it'll all be to do with Iraq, you know. But he's a nice guy. I've met him, obviously, a few times, and he's all right. He's a fucking shit guitar player, but...
Are Oasis the next Rolling Stones?
You know, I find it very difficult to tour the world now, you know, at 41, let alone at fucking 60. I don't know. How Mick Jagger does it is beyond me. How Bono does it is beyond me. You know, I don't understand it at all. I get home at the end of every tour, and I'm fucking almost having a nervous breakdown. You know what I mean? I can't function on tour. It's madness, you know, your bags are in Hong Kong, your fucking brain's in Taiwan, your soul's in China, your fucking arse is still back in England, it's 4 o'clock in the morning somewhere, you can't get to sleep and you're going on stage in 5 minutes. It's like, what the fucking hell's it all about? No wonder people do drugs.
What do you think of your fans?
Do you know, I wish I had a load of nifty one-liners for you saying, yeah, well, our fans are this and they mean. I don't give a shit, man. I mean, it's not that I don't care, right? Because obviously I do. Or I would go on stage drunk every night and not give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I meet them in hotel foyers and they seem quite cool to me. And I meet them in shops and they seem all right. You know, some of them are a little geeky, but some of them are quite cool, you know what I mean? Some of them get a little excited and you've got to calm them down, and some of them, you know, just want to talk to you about what guitar you play and all that. But my connection with them is this. I put a record in the shops. If you buy it and come and see us, I promise that I will play those songs to you to the best of my ability. Other than that, fucking, you know, you don't get a piece of me and I don't want a piece of you, you know. I'll sign your album sleeves and all that. It's not that I don't care, it's just that when other rock stars, they bullshit you about, you know, their fans and this and that. It's like, how can they fucking know? Do you know what I mean? How, you know, we're playing to, I don't know how many million people on this tour, but you seriously think that I'm going to meet every one of them? Fuck that. I mean, I'm the biggest fan of music there ever was. I never once waited at a stage door for any of my heroes because it's like they're just